taking a lot of names as of lately this season and sort of this year. So it'll be interesting to see how both of them play. And for people at home who don't know who Klaps is, he's currently per our ranking system Smash Stats, he's the #9 player in New England. So he really has the skill and talent to kind of beat anyone. And Captain Crunch, again, like he's notorious, or people know him for playing with Hungrybox a lot, and he takes that quick stock. And already Crunch looks very comfortable. Sort of, he's not like right now. He's not really or earlier he wasn't really getting desperate and sort of throwing out moves.
Yeah.
Experience playing like Crunch, I don't think is. I think it's actually a really tough matchup for Klaps to come up with, because Crunch is not the kind of guy that'll make too many mistakes in game.
Yeah, and the other thing to note is that since he's from CFL with all the great Falcons, that he's sure to know the matchup. You know, he's power ranked in CFL. He's sure to be ranked in New England as well. So he's definitely quite familiar with the matchup.
So the way Crunch likes to play is he likes to play very high-paced, in-your-face kind of melee, and that works more or less against a large chunk of the cast, but it definitely works against Falcon. Fox gets to dictate the flow of the match, and if he wants to go in, he can go in pretty much whenever he wants. And it's up to Pedro to keep up with Crunch's pressure, because Crunch is a very, very quick and technical player.
Yeah.
And I know this is something that Pedro has struggled a lot with up in-your-face Fox. I actually asked Pedro what he said, or asked Klaps what he thought his biggest weakness was, and he said that he quote-unquote really didn't know how to deal with space animals, particularly Fox, when they're in his face. So it's going to be interesting to see how Klaps is going to deal with Crunch's straight-up aggressive but also smart in-your-face style pressure.
Yeah, and so far they're like really trading stocks. Like you see like Crunch get a lot of damage on take the stock, and then you see we've seen Klaps get two pretty strong knees stomped and knee combos immediately after. So we'll see how that goes. So far, you know, Klaps hanging in there, but dead right there.
So kind of the hometown hero here too, Klaps.
Yeah.
Yeah, as much as Crunch has kind of put himself into New England melee, he's a more of a newer import, got his roots in Florida, while Klaps is a homegrown New England hero, very often the fan favorite, and has very good results locally, has not traveled very much, so doesn't have the results nationally.
I don't think he's traveled since Apex.
Yeah,
Apex 2015, Klaps finished 145th. And he finished just third in his pool behind Bladewise and Dev. So this is someone who definitely has been putting in a lot of work in the game. And I think if somehow he managed to place high at this tournament, it could really help his national exposure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but right now, very close match. Last stock, first game. Both players definitely want to have the counter pick advantage, especially in this matchup where both characters definitely have stages that they want and do not want to be on. Oh, but that back air looks like it's going to
that should do
looks
it.
like his demise.
Yeah, and Crunch goes up 1-0.
Yep.
All matches are, again, best of 5 today, as they were yesterday. So we're in for a lot of melee.
So if I know Pedro correctly, I think he's going to... Yeah, he did. Okay.
Dreamland. This makes complete sense. Fox can't kill him nearly as easily, and plus Dreamland's considered a fairly good stage for Falcon. So it makes complete sense.
One other thing that's important to acknowledge about Klaps' play, which I think separates him from a lot of other Falcons around his level because of his reliance on this, is that even though when Klaps hits punishes, they're not flashy as a lot of other Falcons. Like Klaps will end up going for strong hits to just lead into basic edge guarding scenarios, but a lot of those strong hits, while they look safe, will actually get him punished a lot of the time if he's incorrect in reading his opponent's movement. Like that stomp right there, he was probably expecting Crunch to roll inwards at the stage. So Klaps is not as reactive as I think, or safe as a lot of his reputation might illustrate initially. I think a good amount of his game is based around just trying to get a read on how his opponents do in what I like to call not sort of reactive situations like tech rolls or how they shield.
That's part of what makes Klaps have such good local results, because while he is a very strong fundamental player, what I would say and what I think he would agree with, his greatest strength is once he gets a read on you, he really understands what a player wants. But that can take time in a set, and I don't know how many times he's played Crunch in the past. But Crunch, as I said, lives pretty far away for New England, about as far away as you can get as a region like New England,
he lives
all the way
in
up in Maine. And I don't know if Pedro Klaps has had a lot of time to download what Crunch's habits are.
I believe they've played once, and Crunch won that set.
They've actually played 4 times.
4 times.
The
okay.
last 2 times Crunch has beaten him.
Okay.
And the 2 times before that, Klap.
So it's 2-2.
Yeah.
Oh, so this is the decider, and I guess in the best of 5 of their sets.
Yeah, but
See how he does.
Klaps has had problems with Fox in the past. All of the top Foxes in our region have, I believe, positive or good records against him. So this is one of his least favorite matchups, this and Falcon, as I think every Falcon main agrees with. Spaces are just a very hard time when they can put in this kind of in-your-face pressure.
Well, I mean, generally anything in Melee, it's kind of like a skill between, it's kind of like a match between the player and the game, and then the player and the players. And I think, while Klaps is very good at understanding player intent and knowing why they're doing certain things, I think there's a few executional sort of mistakes that Klaps does that shows against better players or players who are more experienced.
Yeah,
I mean, you can see that because like he's reading like some of like Crunch's you know, like habits, but at the same time he's having a hard time dealing with a lot of the pressure that Crunch is throwing out, which kind of is just telling of like how he struggles against Fox at times. Like Crunch is kind of just getting pressure free a lot of the time, and then only after Klaps uses stock he really gets anything going, you know. So.
One of the things that Klaps told me that Spunkers was telling him a while ago is that Klaps' type of a game is based around kind of running around the stage and kind of spraying hitboxes everywhere, and then when one of them hits, he knows how to convert off of it pretty well, or at least put himself in an edge guarding situation.
Let's see if he can keep this one going. Nope.
I wonder if that up smash was an input error and he was going for an up air instead.
Yeah, but Crunch with a solid lead at this point. A stock gets tech chase here, doesn't land the knee, so Crunch in a pretty comfortable position here. Already up 1-0 in the set, and losing 2-0 in any set is absolutely brutal.
Oh yeah.
Klaps does have the clutch factor. We've seen him clutch out a lot of sets that seem hopeless in the past. So, but he definitely doesn't want to go down 0-2 here. Evens up the last stock,
Yep,
and
so
he's going to try and turn it on here.
Yeah, he's at 66%. It's kind of dangerous for him because if Crunch gets anything really strong going, he's pretty much dead. He's at death percent now at this point.
All right, let's see what Klaps can do with this grab.
Oh. Doesn't
So-
get the nair to cover that.
Yeah, that initial forward tilt, I think he was expecting Crunch to jump up from ledge there or out of ledge there, and ended up working.
Ooh, and a big back air there puts Falcon in edge guard position. Klaps is going to have a hard time making it back here. Does the classic Falcon fade back and makes it to the ledge, but that back air is going to seal the deal.
So there was a moment there when Klaps actually had the read on Crunch, and Crunch jumped up, but Klaps mistimed the forward tilt, and Crunch was able to take stage again.
And Klaps takes it straight back to Dreamland, and even if he does better this set, he has to know that he's going to have to win 2 games on Crunch's counter picks, such as Yoshi's, probably Yoshi's, because Crunch really wants to
even
close the
FOD
distance.
and FD can also. I know Klaps doesn't like FD or FOD at all.
I think Klaps is somewhat comfortable on FOD more than some Falcons from talking to him. But yeah, it's definitely that's why you don't want to go down 2-0 though, because you're in a situation where you can take this game, run it back, but pretty hard to win the next.
And right now it's looking like he's going to have a lot of trouble taking this game. Crunch already up unclean stock. It doesn't get that edge guard. That was a crucial drop there. Klaps really needed that to even up the set, or even up the game.
That's kind of a 50-50 that works. That's actually a tremendously high risk for Falcon. And one missed edge guard. This is already 50%, and he's off stage, and he's dead now.
Yeah, this is scary. Against a Fox of Crunch's consistency and technical prowess, you don't want to be down 2 stocks like this, because he can just keep gaining lead, and it's just going to become even harder for Klaps to really get back into it.
Yeah, that's one of those situations where I think the quote-unquote textbook technical players often have the advantage over the read-based players. Is it those edge guard situations? Because if your read is wrong in those situations, they get back for free, and they get to turn the tables with stage control. But a textbook player might be more likely to get the edge guard, or less likely to put themselves in that position.
Yeah.
Oh, up tilts. Up tilts.
See, when he's at that 40 to 50%, this is when it starts getting really scary.
Yeah.
If you're getting hit by Falcon, because you're just at a perfect combo weight, especially against Fox.
Yeah, Crunch is just so comfortable at comboing him. Like Klaps really isn't getting an opportunity to really retaliate at this point.
Yeah, it seems like Crunch is perfectly comfortable using this extra space that's been given to him, like Klaps' counter pick as well. He doesn't seem like he's necessarily in a rush to go in, but at the same time, when he does go in, it seems to be very effective pressure.
See if Crunch can get this edge guard. Oh, loves it.
I think, so one particular thing I keep noticing in this match is that Klaps keeps expecting Crunch to roll away, and he never does. Crunch is very comfortable just kind of teching in place or rolling in instead. Because I think Klaps is used to, Klaps doesn't get that much high-level practice outside of playing with a few of his local friends. And I think against people that he knows he can beat, this is kind of a concern for him.
Yeah,
That's that.
here's something to note. Like, there